conference in sunny Los Angeles in the amazing Palos Verdes Terranea Resort. It's everybody's favorite foreign gin coach, the Retireholics.
Every episode of Retireholics, if you've ever watched it before, raise your hands if you've watched it. Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
My daughter didn't raise her hand.
Because she probably hasn't watched an episode.
That's kind of bullshit, Gabby. You've watched it while I've watched it. I've forced you to. Every episode, it's got one of these guys. Well, this time we tasked the conference, the people running the conference, hey, can you pick the beer of the episode for us? Can you see
It's
this?
a really nice conference, by the way. Let's acknowledge that.
Oh, we're stoked to be here. So they picked the beer of the episode. Usually Chad would talk about the history of the brewery, how it tastes, what he likes about it. They gave us Coors Light.
Hey, they are $14 a piece here.
True.
So,
Chad, can you take us through the
This
rich
is our
history of
pregame
the beer?
drink. This is what we drink backstage. And now it's our beer of the episode. I want to introduce you to someone new for the show. We've got Skylar Stokes right over here. He's this surfer-looking dude out of San Diego. And he is the newest member of Retireholics. You'll see him on future episodes. He's the newest member of the PDC
and that's
team.
where new members sit.
Yeah.
Over here in the corner, yeah.
Last night we were going to do our prep, and I was flying in late, and we were going to meet at 10:30 to do the prep. And I was getting off the plane, and everyone was kind of complaining that we're going to meet late. And Scott was like, well, why don't we just do it tomorrow morning, early? I'm like, you don't know the Retireholics. Like, we drink the night before, and we hash this out till 2 in the morning.
I got a text from my wife at 1:30 that said, I just woke up. Where are you? Is everything okay?
So Skylar's going to help us out because we've got another thing going on. It's a game we play. We used to call it Word of the Episode. We had Fred Reish on the show. The legend, Fred Reish on Retireholics. Never thought it would happen in my lifetime.
Oh, thank you.
We're freaking legit. And he decided to call it the prohibited word of the episode. I thought that was really funny, really cute. He was like, we said, hey, it's the word of the episode. It's the prohibited word of the episode. So Skylar's going to help us out because when you say the prohibitive word of the episode, you must drink from these little guys here. And we're going to be filling these up with, what?
Cinerator? It's described as hot cinnamon-flavored whiskey.
Sounds tasty.
There's 4 of them in the state of California.
Sounds tasty. So it's important you understand these rules and help us out, help Skylar out. Skylar's going to keep track of who says it when. I put it out on LinkedIn. I wanted to see what people thought would be a good word of the episode. And someone out there said, hey, why not just do 2 words of the episode?
Why not? Yeah,
This is a
cool. Because you're not
terrible
on the show.
And I agreed because these guys have gotten pretty good at not saying the word of the episode. It's the guests. Sorry, Jania, where you at?
Skill.
It's the guests that
You just don't
struggle
say much.
with the word of the episode. So we're going to do 2. And I'm going to say it right now for the last time.
Okay.
If you
It won't be your last time.
and or the guests say fiduciary or, she screams, participant, you're going to drink from the, what's it called?
Cinerator.
Incinerator. Okay?
Oh, gosh.
I'm going to add something to it, though. I'm going to buddy you guys up. We've got 3 guests today, okay? And I want to connect you in some way and connect the guests. So you're going to be like teammates. Mark, you will be Jania's teammate. If Jania says the word, you'll drink with her.
Absolutely.
Okay? Jania, if Mark says the word, you don't have to drink with him.
But
And-
you should.
If Phil says the word, you will drink. You're his drinking buddy.
Yeah.
Got a new
Phil's my
drinking
boy.
buddy,
He scares
Phil.
me.
It's Chad.
Phil, you did great back there. I don't know how many times you said participant, but keep it up.
Hey, buddy, there you go.
Yeah. Get started, pal.
That
Skylar.
is how it works. Okay?
Brandon,
I
where
thought it was
are
supposed to
you?
be part, Justin. Part, remember?
Yes.
Is he here?
And Justin will be teamed with Brandon Cutler, okay? We're gonna play another game. Show them this, Chad. We went to the bar earlier. We asked the woman, she seemed shocked, can you make us the nastiest frickin' drink you can think of?
She accomplished that. For those of you who are curious, we have gin, whiskey, rum, tomato sauce, orange juice.
A1.
A1, thank you. Bitters,
Jalapenos.
Tabasco.
Tabasco, chopped up
Jalapenos.
jalapenos.
Olives.
Worcestershire.
It's garnished. It's garnished
Oh,
with
Worcester,
some
yeah.
olives, though. That's good.
Jesse, you need me to refill that for
So
you?
what will happen is,
Go ahead and drink it.
I mentioned that they run teams,
This is an hour
right?
and 15-minute
So
show.
whichever
Smaller
guest says the prohibited word the most, whoever's tied to that guest will have to drink that.
Notice he is not tied to any guest. Cheater.
There's
You make up the
three
rules.
guests, 3 people. It made sense. It's easy math, right? And that thing's nasty, and we'll do it at the end of the show, okay?
What's the lights? Or
So,
the,
with that, that's the pre-show banter. Wasn't that funny, but whatever. Jania Stouts, some people call her the $3 billion woman.
4.
I guess she's getting a 4 now or whatever. Jania Stout, give her a round of applause.
Yeah.
Hopefully your mic works now.
I'm guessing we're sharing this. Is that what we're doing, tech
So do I
guys?
go close? Yeah.
Yes, we'll just do
Okay.
this.
Why
This is
isn't
what
my
we're doing.
teammate sitting next to
Can
me?
you get Jania a beer so she can
Yeah.
play along? I also need her hang in there. Your prohibited word of the
chilled?
episode.
Hey,
Is it chill?
I was kind enough to say we should give you the option of Cinerator or tequila. You can tell me if you're
really
scared of
good
the Cinerator, we can transfer over to the tequila.
She's
JD.
game. She's good. She's
Whatever JD
Can you
thinks I
remind
should
me,
do.
what are the words again?
good. He's trying to trick me. Skylar, can you remind Jania what the words of the episode are? Nice try, Mark.
Am I allowed to?
Yeah, you're allowed to.
Am I allowed to? Cheers.
Can I
Welcome
really?
to the stage.
What's
yeah,
that?
you can.
Fiduciary and participant.
It sounds so sweet coming off your lips, Skylar. Okay.
It's because I haven't drank anything yet.
Jania, I want to talk first about, you're the freaking NAPA president? What? That's gnarly. So, let's talk to you first about your big NAPA president job, and then we'll talk to Jania, the financial advisor, okay?
Okay.
NAPA. I know they throw cool conferences in with like country music.
We've never been invited, but from
We've
what
never
I
been
hear, it's
invited,
big
but
parties.
if you know anyone there,
It's kind of a perfect
This year.
fit.
Maybe-
This is your
maybe you
year
hook us up.
for 2020. Yeah.
but speak to an
Depends on
advisor.
how many times you say the word.
Oh,
Remember the
Yeah, you may
words.
get
I know. I
Pay
forgot.
attention.
Yeah, for a second. Now I think.
Good reminder there, Mark.
From an advisor's perspective, why be a member? How do I participate?
That's a
That is a flavor of the word.
Close.
Nice try.
Yeah.
Nice try.
No.
We decided that's a
You
flavor
said
of
it,
the
the
word.
Participate?
You just said it again.
Time out.
Let's let the
Can I just let the audience vote?
That's a flavor of the word.
That's bullshit. One.
back up a little.
Oh,
Oh,
2. Wow.
it's fantastic,
Holy
huh?
And dare I say, like, do they ask themselves, like, what's in it for me? Like, is there some ROI on this? Talk to me about NAPA.
Sure. I mean, I think there's a couple of reasons most people want to get involved with NAPA. One could just be to hang out with really cool people and, hear what they're doing from a best practices perspective. Great events, but really just kind of bouncing ideas around each other. The other thing that I think you can't forget is NAPA's main mission is to really help lead what goes on in Capitol Hill. And we just got back from the fly-in. I know I saw a lot of people here that were there last week, Vince and some other folks. We really do have a voice, and it's pretty amazing, at least for me, to see that we can really persuade things to be drafted the way we think they should be drafted.
Beautiful.
Very cool, very cool.
JD,
And-
your
yep.
lav mic's working. See how cool
You're
they
all
typed
good.
that
That's all
in
you.
there?
Oh, okay.
Oh, they're talking to me on this little screen, people.
Yeah.
Send
big
me-
time,
Hey,
it's big
hit me
time.
up. Send me some messages. So talk to us about the conferences. And
Yeah, so we've got a ton of conferences now. Obviously, NAPA Summit is the big one. And
Who's
this
it
year
for?
it's in Orlando. What was that?
Who's it for?
It's for advisors, financial advisors. There's no.
good, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
You're
making
not
sure
gonna
you're on
trick
your
me.
toes.
Yeah.
Jay, just so you know, Jason
Hey.
Roberts thought he
Knock
had
it
it
off.
under wraps. Like, he's like, I got this.
I
And
actually
it
think
all-
I'm going to have this.
it
Can we
all-
make a bet if I can make it through the whole 20 minutes?
What's the bet?
There's a
I
crazy
think
drink on
I
the
can
table.
do it without saying those two words.
I'll bet you
Not
anything you
once.
want to bet. $4 billion.
All right.
Your presidency.
I think I could do it.
I will.
How about
It
if you
depends
lose?
what kind of questions you ask me, but
We're at Napa next year.
what was that?
If you lose, we're at Napa next year.
Okay, I'll tell Brian Graff.
On the
that
big
And if we
stage.
win, we're
We
at
have
Napa
to do
next
that.
year.
Boot one of those B-level
Man, I
country
love the way
music
we get in
people
there.
and put us up there.
Okay, well, you're right. This would be a lot more entertaining. Yeah. So
So sorry, we're distracted.
That's all right.
About the
So-
conferences.
Napa Summit this last year was in Las Vegas. It was awesome. If you all attended, we started doing these after dark events.
Seems like a big party.
Oh yeah, so it's right up your alley. I think you guys should sneak in if you don't get invited.
Ooh. That's a good way
That's
to
a way
get
to
kicked
get
out of a
kicked out.
Yeah, I
conference.
mean, if you're an advisor, you can be an advisor, right? You advise.
You
plan
advise advisors?
sponsors.
Advisors.
I mean, advisor is a broad term, right? But anyway, Summit's awesome. It's big. We had 2,000 advisors there, so the biggest ever. But we have other great conferences. We just did the Women in Retirement Conference. Yay, women!
Can I stop you there? Like,
sorry.
I had serious FOMO about that stuff. You do
Well-
all these cool graphics, you have all these people there. I see you guys are really good at
Singing.
social media. You're leading karaoke stuff. Like, I want to go.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that because at the end of the conference, I was telling some of my women tribe, I was like, we need to have a man conference, right? Because we just keep doing all these cool things. I feel bad. Like we need to do stuff
I thought you were
that
saying you
guys
need to have a man there. I was like, I mean,
no, like we can have a man conference and teach you guys how to soul sing. Like we cry, we hug, like it's a
Well, that's
lot
right up
of
JD's
stuff.
alley.
Yeah. So I know I went back to the office and I was telling my male counterparts, I'm like, it was awesome. Like everyone was sharing and we were crying, and they're like, that sounds awful. So, but it's a wonderful event. We're flipping it to happen in January. So, like it's always been in June, and that's an awful time of the year to do it with graduations and all the other conferences we have. So, we're actually having it again this January. Maybe we could still have you guys on stage.
we're free in January.
I mean, as long as you just come and go.
I was planning to take that month
Maybe
off.
if you wear wigs. And then the other
Wait,
conference.
we accept
oh.
your invitation.
Okay.
We'll go.
Yeah.
We have a $50,000 booking appearance fee, but it's good.
You would be our highest paid
Okay. So let's-
speaker then.
Deal
Well,
done,
there-
right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm joking, I'm joking. All we want is free beer. We'll show up.
If it's Coors Light, that's easy. Yeah.
All right, let's shift. Let's shift to Jania, the super advisor,
The nearly $4
The
billion super
$3
advisor.
billion woman. I'm sorry, I don't mean to make you uncomfortable. You're
No,
on covers of
don't.
magazines, and now you're like this keynote person running around everywhere. Did I mention president of NAPA? Like, you're so
think you hit on that
cool. I recently listened to you on a podcast with Michael Kitsis, and I friggin' loved it.
Thank you.
Like, I sat there, it was pretty long,
Yeah.
but I
very
really
long.
got to understand your business model and in lots of areas, and it got really deep, I feel like.
You
a
were
lot,
incredibly open.
a lot of people get on podcasts and you just get surface level stuff.
Right.
I feel like you really opened up and shared how you run your practice. Kitsis doesn't understand retirement plans that much.
No.
I mean,
But
he's a
he
stud.
tried.
Yeah.
I mean, he did. I thought he did a good job.
That's
good
He
question.
For what he
Yeah,
is,
you got it
right?
there.
Yeah.
He did. He's a stud. He gets out so much great content, and I love that podcast. One of the things that he loved the most was your stewardship report. It's just a fancy way of saying you guys record what you're doing, and you show your clients that you're doing things, moving the needle. Can you talk to us more about the stewardship report?
Yeah, the stewardship report was kind of born for two reasons. One, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, we moved to flat fees, right? So there wasn't, as assets grow, we still made the same fee. So we needed to have a mechanism that gave us the ability to raise our fee without those uncomfortable conversations. So how we do our pricing, and this will feed into the stewardship, we do flat fee guaranteed for 2 years, and at the end of the 2 years, we provide a stewardship report. And in that stewardship report, we break down all the things that we do. So, we always have the baseline when we bring the client in. What are the fees? Anything from all the different fees, record keeping, advisory, and fund costs.
Do you guys do any like 338,
Yep.
321? Tell me a little bit about that.
So, that's all. Oh, see, I'm gonna win this.
You gave
if
it up.
you keep giving me hints, I'm not gonna say it.
No, you don't have to answer that question. It's purely a
you
trap.
had
It's
me
just a
if you
trap.
hadn't made that facial expression.
You're trying to
after
scare
asking.
me. I don't have $4 billion. Go on.
So, anyway, so stewardship report and the other reason why we did this, so let me finish that thought. So we do the stewardship report, and then we ask for a raise in the same document. And then it's pretty hard for them to say no.
You're showing them
What's
what
the
you've done.
statistic specifically? How many people have said no?
Nobody's said no.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Kudos.
So,
You guys tell them.
and you know what it does? It keeps us all honest, and it helps you really take a temperature check. Sometimes, you get to say, you have to sit across the table from your client and say, am I worthy of getting a raise? And here are the things we do. And when you're putting that stewardship report together, if you haven't done anything, it looks pretty bad. So that's, all our relationship managers are constant. Everything's built around the stewardship report, because they don't want to get caught at the end of those 2 years with nothing on the paper.
I never thought about it like that. In a sense, it's kind of it's a security measure for all of you to are we doing our job?
Right.
Are we doing enough? Because if you're trying to make sure that stewardship report looks good.
And it's a motivator for your relationship people, because now
Right.
they're driven to make sure they're hosting those meetings and seeing those folks. That
Right.
And even though the participants
down.
don't like it.
He wants to drink.
Do you-
I feel bad. You guys want me
No
to?
skin in
There
the
it
game for
is.
that.
I'll
You
drink a beer.
suck at this game.
Jania,
I'm good at it.
do you guys tell them in the beginning of the relationship, hey, this is guaranteed for 2 years and then we're going to renegotiate? Or do
It's
they go,
written in our
It
service
is.
agreement, yep. So I know some do COLA adjustments is another way to kind of get a little lift in the plan.
Mark, that's cost of living.
What's the A then?
And I will say, not everyone on the team thinks
Not
that
just Coke?
we should do it not that they don't think we should do it, but there's been some that say, why don't we just take the easy way out and do a COLA, right? And
Or a Dr. Pepper.
I know it's risky because we've got to ask our client, because
Depends on what you
COLAs
like.
just happen no matter what, if you're doing a good job or not. But it's great because if you see the way they react when you're asking for the raise, you can tell, are they happy with us or not happy?
What are you putting into this report to prove that you've moved the needle? You've made an impact.
So it's broken into sections. So there's everything around education. So that's going to be participation rates, deferral rates.
Woo! Baited her into that one.
So you asked me that question just to get that
No,
word.
I genuinely want to know. I listen to podcasts.
I trusted you. Oh, wait, I don't have to drink, right? You
Wasn't
do.
there a bet or
Oh,
something
you said it,
on
so we
that?
both do.
Wait,
Skylar,
Wait, wasn't there a bet?
there was.
count one for her, right?
Cheers.
Oh, cheers.
I totally disagree with that.
Oh,
by the way.
no,
She
this
didn't
is gonna
say
get bad.
The actual.
You shouldn't have
You
to.
said any flavor of said word.
Oh, so
All of it.
Jania.
Oh, we're not supposed to drink it all.
We do half. This is 2 and 1.
I didn't know the little
Fill her up.
Welcome to the stage.
It's all good.
It's all going
stage
You're an
by the
over-
end of this.
She's an overachiever.
Oh, yeah.
Bring us the context
no, we're-
of that stewardship report.
Okay.
I do want to know.
Chad needs the
Genuinely-
details. I want to
Okay.
have fun. Go ahead.
So we'll have success. I'm trying to think of the right words to say without getting
Yeah,
in
think
trouble.
carefully.
How
hard
do
to
we
just
move the
slam the
needle
shot.
from outcomes, right? So the amount of people that are in the plan, the deferral amounts, we track that. And let's face it, it's hard to move those needles sometimes, especially if you get a client that's already got auto enrollment, auto escalation. You're not going to make dramatic changes. At least on a year-by-year basis, it's really hard. So, it's other things that we do, like budget seminars or workshops or pre-retiree workshops, things like that we can, to your point, it keeps us constantly looking at, what can we add to this to make it different? Then there's a whole thing around fees. And then there's a whole section on compliance. So I love you guys because I love you anyway, but you probably know a lot about ERISA, right? Yeah?
I would
Somebody
say
told me
so.
the other day, they're like,
need to.
JD, he's really smart too. Like, as if I didn't think he was smart already. I was like,
He does sit on a stage and drink beer, so it is questionable.
yeah. No, but, well, that's maybe a conversation for another time. I used to work on the bundled side of the business. I know that's a bad word, right?
No, go ahead.
And then before I started my own company, I worked for a firm that was a TPA. And I had a new appreciation for TPAs.
Jamie,
Somebody's
we
raising.
have a question in the audience.
We don't do
Yeah.
audience questions.
Thank you.
Now we do.
So you were talking about the number of sponsors, right, of all the different plans, right? That's what you're just talking about, right? The number of people in the plan?
Yeah.
Is that what you meant?
Yes. Well, not.
Hey, how dare you?
Is he a plant?
He's trying to set you up.
No,
Okay, I know, I'm
so
like,
what do you, I don't understand what you're talking about. Could
Well,
you
I can't-
Those
explain that?
folks, right? Those
Who,
He's
folks.
trying to
right?
get
Who?
me. He's trying to get me, isn't he?
He's trying to bait you. I'll even
I'm
open
trying
up
to
the-
see how many people are actively contributing to the plan.
Job well
That
done,
works.
Daniel. Job well done.
That
This
works.
is why I always say, don't encourage audience participation.
Oh, I love it. I love
They
it.
suck at it. They're not good at it. Sorry, bro. I mean, but that was kind of bad. No, that's really good. By the way, I want to remind you, you do owe me $4 billion.
Okay.
So take checks, whatever you want
So
to do.
I do want you to hit on the last piece that's in there, because I don't think he did, because it ties directly into what we do, which is compliance.
Compliance. Yeah. So, and you probably heard this on the podcast, like we spend more time talking to our clients about correcting issues. So we have an IRPA on our team, so we do voluntary corrections. We also sign over as power of attorney for any IRS agents and things like that. So we get pretty heavy into the compliance side. So we're reporting on anytime, like all those little fixes we helped you with, these are the things that are.
We
reported.
constantly look for what we call not your typical advisor, hashtag not your typical advisor. I don't see anybody else getting deep into the compliance world from an advisory role. So kudos to you. And is it making an impact? Is it a differentiator for you?
Yeah, I would say where it's a differentiator is on the retention side. So on the sales side, I think we all sound the same, but like once you've experienced what we do, and I'm sure you guys would agree with this statement, I think every single plan out there has problems. It's just a matter of when you find them. Like they're all just, I can find an issue in every plan.
I actually appreciated the fact that you said a day in the life. We put out fires constantly, because sometimes like on a day-to-day when you're doing that, you kind of feel like I'm spinning my wheels, but it's from someone of your stature, that's really reassuring to hear, and I appreciate you just saying that.
Sure.
Oh, very
well done.
heartfelt, Mark. That's great.
Now you can
Okay, we do.
Because it's only one.
I would like to keep you up here for the entire show,
Yeah.
but we got these other guys that have to come up here. Not nearly as valuable as
I
you.
only
but-
failed once. I did good, but I
I
did
know,
a double
you
shot.
did.
So
You crushed
it was
it.
like I did two
And there,
mistakes.
I had some other really good baiting questions for you, but once I got you once, it was good. I was
Is that
happy.
what is usually you only get somebody once?
Oh, no. Normally
Oh,
I'm
so I
talking
did
6 or 7
good.
times. You did great.
Okay.
Jason
great.
Roberts had 7. I was seriously worried they were going
geez.
to kick him off of his flight that he was flying to. It was bad. I thought he was going to be in the headlines. Thank you for being here. Hold your applause. Don't forget, you promised us that we're on the big stage at NAPA.
I said at the women's conference, right? Didn't I say that? I never
No, it's a
promised
big stage.
NAPA.
I've got a lot of witnesses.
I said
Yeah,
the
this is all
women's
recorded,
conference.
too.
And you owe me $4
With the
billion.
wig and dress.
$4 billion.
Okay.
Jania, $4 billion.
Okay.
And I'm psyched that you're taking care of your participants
I feel
in
like
your
I
plan.
need to try mine as well. I'm going to say fiduciary. I don't know how you got through that
act in a
without once.
fiduciary role.
I mean, I don't
Your-
use that
your
word in just
responsibility.
regular conversation.
Can we get the
Skylar,
little
did you
graphic?
get that one?
Who's
Hey,
doing the
Skylar,
graphic?
Skylar,
Oh,
did
that,
you get that one?
You get Chad's?
What?
That was the,
that adds to my
so-
total, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I would like you to do 2 things. Welcome our new guest,
Terrible.
Phil Troyer, to the stage, and thank Jania for spending some time with us.
That is
right,
not
buddy.
good, by the way. That is really not good.
It sounded good
Hey,
when we were talking about it.
remember,
backstage.
we're on a team.
do this.
We're on a team here.
check.
You should sit next to me and like stomp me on the foot or something.
Yeah, I do have tape in my pocket.
Okay,
Jason,
buddy.
you did
All
tape
right.
your mouth.
Okay.
Okay, I mentioned earlier
Fresh
that
glass.
Oh. Smell it.
I am a proud card-carrying member of the Fred Reich fan club.
Right.
Guy's an icon,
Right.
a god
on
in
our
my
show.
mind.
Yeah.
I stalk him sometimes on the beach by his house. I used to say that Jason Roberts was like the coolest ERISA attorney because he told me he windsurfed once, and I thought that was really neat. But you just might be the coolest ERISA attorney.
You haven't heard me speak yet.
Am
I
I
feel like
wrong?
he's the most interesting man in the world, too.
I mean,
like you sit
what's
back
up
and
with-
like,
I'm beginning to realize that you have commitment issues.
Yeah.
I'll always stay with Fred.
Just bouncing from
right.
ERISA to
Fred's my guy.
No offense, but you might be the flavor of the month. Like, we don't know who's next.
he's been married for a long time, so at least he's
Sorry, Tracy.
That shirt is on fire.
Thank
bro.
you. Thank you. I picked that up myself. So,
Sweet.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
You're jealous you don't have
What
a
we're
pocket
gonna
beer.
talk to you about today, buddy, is you recently wrote this article on investment news. Am I getting that right?
Correct. Yes.
And I listened to a podcast 8-9 months ago. Who here knows the 401k Fridays podcast with Rick
Mr.
Unser?
Unser, where is he?
oh, the
come
voice
on.
that
Give me
everyone
some-
knows.
Give me some love
Stand
for Rick
up, Rick!
Unser. Where's Rick? And he had Jerry Schlichter, am I getting that right? The 401k boogeyman. That's his name.
Yeah, self-proclaimed.
He's a scary mofo. And he had him on the show. And he made a statement in his interview with Rick where and I was listening like on the edge of my seat, for real. And he said, record keepers, F words, should not use participant data.
There it is.
Yeah, you got rid of the F word, but...
Fair enough. I'm gonna steal half of yours, Jen.
Oh, you need me to re-pour for you?
Oh, God, it doesn't get better.
I really think that you should have to drink that.
I was
Should
gonna
not
say,
use-
so far you're losing.
Employee data to sell other things to them. Like Schlichter thinks that's a violation. You shouldn't be doing that. And that's a big deal because I think the big firms, the insurance companies, the nationwides, the principals, the whatever the world, have always had that as part of their game plan. Our company's based in Silicon Valley, and I've learned recently that a lot of these 401k disruptors that are getting big VC money, tens of millions of dollars, that's kind of their next stage too.
Yeah.
That's why they're getting those $30 million funding it's not just for the 401k business. They want the attention of those employees down the line, which I was like, whoa, okay. Right. So this is happening. Schlichter says no. Recently in the Vanderbilt case, he literally made it one of their, what do you attorneys call it? I call it like a demand.
Right.
Tell me about this, dude.
Okay.
What's going on?
Yeah, seriously, let the man speak. Can you stop?
Mark, shut up.
So one thing I would say at the outset, so I'm a former plaintiff's attorney myself, so I do have some, I know Jerry Schlichter is probably not the most popular person in this room, but I do think I understand somewhat where he's coming from. And I would say that he has a point, it's just a matter of degrees, and that is that, the old days when the plan sponsor would just sign off and say, and the vendor came in, whether it was the record keeper or the fund company, and just said, just sign here, we'll take care of everything, don't worry about it, that those days are gone or are fleeting. But I think that he goes too far, and we're starting to get this now when we're negotiating contracts with clients. They're saying, well, we have a privacy policy in our contract, and they're saying, but we don't want you to really talk to our employees, we don't want you to market anything to our employees. And I'm trying to push back against that to say, understand that at some point those employees, we do a great job, and I'm going to have Brandon on later, working with the employees inside of the plan.
Employees.
Wow. Hand down to prepare over there.
Bullshit.
So,
Why don't you drink a little more?
Go on.
Your beer, please?
You're on a roll. I'm sorry.
oh, no, that's
my
fine,
whole
that's
game's
fine.
not working well.
But then there's going to be a point where they're going to end up with a big pot of money, and they're going to walk away. And my fear and frustration is those plan sponsors that aren't helping them by saying, we're not letting anybody talk to you. As we push you out of the plan with this big pot of money, no one can touch you. And so who's going to, Al's annuity company, down the street's going to come walking in and say,
they're my
hey,
favorite.
I've got a great product for you.
Yeah.
And it's, and part of this is the DOL's fault, and Brad Campbell talked about this yesterday, but they had an opinion they issued that said, if you're a 321 or 338 to the plan,
321, 338, what?
He's really good, you guys. He's
Go
really
on.
good.
and you counsel a participant,
Wait, you're yes.
Chad, you gotta fill
I forgot you drank
Drinking
so
buddies. Drinking buddies. Cheers.
You were so proud of yourself too, and you didn't say the F word.
Mark,
actually, that's not bad.
you're pretty much clear on the nasty cup.
Oh, I'm done. Yeah.
Because Jania's got your back.
What do you mean?
Skylar,
He
Look
can
at her.
keep saying it.
Skylar, where
$4
we at?
billion
Oh, I can still
answering
say it.
emails. We're doing a show, Jania.
Wait, time out.
Can you pay
Time out.
attention?
He has at least two.
You were a guest on this show, and now you're on your
Ask for a count.
phone.
That's what I'm doing.
Interrupt me.
That
Hey,
hurts.
JD, hold on.
Pause.
What's our count, Skylar?
Whoa.
So I just, not to take over, Phil, but so I sent a picture to my daughters of these guys, and my youngest daughter goes, "What the hell, Mom? Ha 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 ha." And then my older daughter goes, "They're cute."
You're not in the picture.
Justin.
I'm not in the picture? Damn! Well,
Sorry, we derailed you.
That's
Or I
your
should say,
statement.
I should say, Jania derailed you.
What's our count?
Yeah, time out. Count check.
Count check.
One-
Jania
Jenny has one.
and
Phil has one.
great. Thanks,
No,
Skylar.
but you're it's aggregate.
it's
bro.
aggregate.
Well, JD was the one who
JD's
basically
got like
blew it up
16.
already.
Chad has
Yeah,
at least
no
two.
one's on my team.
I said it on purpose. So Phil and I have two. All right. You guys got
It's
your point
not
across.
a combined thing.
It is.
Okay, fine. Make up
That's
your
why I
own
said Mark
rules.
can still sink his
Go
shot.
on. Yes.
So
just gonna take a
the
nap.
Department of Labor, we're talking about the opinion they issued that said if you were the 321 or 338 to the plan already, and you counseled an employee on a rollover on their way out, that could be a prohibited transaction. But if you didn't have any prior relationship with the plan,
It's totally
then
fine.
you basically owed no interest whatsoever to that employee. And even by Washington standards, it's a really stupid policy.
Yeah.
And it's just exactly backwards. And they were pushing employees to, like I said, the people who wanted to just come in and sell them a product.
Right.
And so, like I said, I think we're starting to see some of our plans come to us and saying, we really want you to take care of our employees. And that is, so we want you to provide them with advice while they're in the plan. We want you to provide education, as Brandon's going to talk about in a little bit. But also, we've now had some starting to come to us and saying, when our employees get ready to retire, we want you to agree to handle the rollovers for them on a reduced fee and a fixed fee, which I would much rather see. And so my position is that I do think plan sponsors have a duty to their employees to protect them by saying, we're going to allow somebody to have access to them to, whether it's, provide them advice, help them with rollovers, whether it's us as the plan advisor, whether it's the record keeper, whether it's the fund company, whether it's a third party advisor. To me, that's fine. It's just as long as they make that conscious decision and don't just sign a piece of paper that just signs their rights away.
Fair.
Can I ask
Right.
you? There's no actual rule or regulation or law in place right now that says you cannot. Obviously.
Actually, so there's Reg SP, which is the SEC's, it's the federal privacy laws, but Reg SP specifically does not apply to retirement plans.
And Schlichter points to 406B or something, right?
Well, and it would be
Just
one
self-dealing or whatever.
right. It would be one thing if we were, as the plan advisor saying, we're going to sell the participant
Hey, Chad, you're in the lead for that.
Oh, thanks for pointing that out, JD.
I'm really trying to avoid.
Don't.
You don't have to
don't,
drink
don't,
that. That's all him.
I know.
It's
I
not
bet
like
it is
you
a-
have to drink
I
it.
know.
You are true drinking buddies. Go on.
All right.
Take it up.
Oh, that's terrible.
Fill them up, because there's going to be another.
So where were we? After 2
Don't worry
shots,
about
I'm
it.
already getting.
I think we're ready for
right.
what is going to be my favorite part of the show. So you're basically saying to the 401k boogeyman, you disagree.
You're wrong.
You're ready to fight it out.
I'll take him on.
Rick, you interviewed Schlichter. Rick's on his phone too. Jesus, come on.
Come on.
I wouldn't mess with that dude. So I want you to.
Right.
You go for it. I'm not associating with you on this.
I have-
so I'm scared of that guy.
I just have one condition. Have you ever seen the movie Cinderella Man?
Yes.
So in Cinderella Man, before Russell Crowe's character had the fight with Max Baer, the heavyweight champion, the promoter of the fight made Russell Crowe watch, then it was film, of Max Baer killing a man in a ring with a punch. So before Jerry Schlichter can accept this challenge, he needs to watch my video and sign the waiver. So can we put the video
I
up?
have a video.
Did he make you watch?
We gotta see.
So bring on Jerry.
What side are you on?
Bring on Jerry.
I was thinking if that
was
video was
sweet.
really bad, it was gonna be good for us because there's a lot of comedy there. I can't figure out, was it bad or was it good? I was kind of motivated.
I kind of feel like our intern stole the show, though. I mean, I think that with a little practice, they could challenge the Backstreet Boys. I think they're
I wanted to make fun of your video, but I thought it was kind of cool.
okay. Well,
And I'm a little scared of you. 'Cause apparently you like work out and stuff.
When was the last time you were in the gym, JD?
I do the Peloton. I got the Peloton.
Oh, that's true. And you surf a lot.
I've been
so
doing
fair
beginner
enough.
classes for like 2.5 years. Those instructors intimidate the shit out of me, man. Like, oh, I'll just go beginner again today.
Pretty much every time we spend time at your house, we sit on the Peloton after a lot of drinks, and it does intimidate me as well. So I get it.
Yeah, I'm scared. That was awesome. I'm sure you're going to take on Schlichter. I'm going to promote it.
Okay.
We're going to make a thing of this.
All right, great.
I'm going to distance myself a little bit.
How can you distance yourself while promoting it?
It can be done. There's a way to do
Find
it.
a way.
Can't.
There's a way to do it. But again, what I want you to do is thank Phil for being up here with us, the coolest ERISA attorney in the biz, and welcome our
For at least for
newest
this one.
guest, Brandon Cutler. Get your butt on up here.
I feel like, hey buddy, pleasure, sir.
Hey, man.
I'm not going to stand up so nobody will know how short I am next to you.
5'7", 5'8"?
Right now.
Whoa, whoa,
We're-
whoa.
whoa.
Let it go.
That was
Jeez,
aggressive,
man.
Justin.
It's gonna be a Father's
Hey,
Day.
I got a good transition that I thought about while we were
Well, let it
sitting
rip,
here.
Chad, let it rip.
What I was going
Yeah.
to say is, to Phil's point, there is nobody better to be an advocate for these employees, these folks, we'll use that, than the advisors who are already servicing them in an
Agreed.
F-word capacity. So as we look at saying we're going to
Sounds
stop
kinda
people from
weird.
gathering data, it was
You know
good,
you
right?
already lost
prepared.
this,
I got
right?
you.
I
Keep
mean, you're
going.
screwed.
Yeah, I should just say fiduciary. Why? I've already lost. Come on. I spoke to Brandon earlier. He's on top of his game. This is the audience that should be helping them through each of these stages of their investment
Totally
life
agreed.
and their retirement savings. So why do we keep putting up these roadblocks? And I feel like advisors that talk about this in a sales process, it's going to differentiate them. That is telling them, hey, I'm here for every stage of the process. For your young investors, to your retirement folks who are taking a transition to an IRA and rolling their money out. That's a differentiator that in the 100 point of sales, 200 point of sales I'm sitting on in a year, I hear 3 times, 2 times.
That's all.
So,
He's not doing a
Starting to
good
prop
job
you
right
up already is what he's
see,
doing.
I'm positioning it. That's
I
the
thought-
transition.
That's great. Well, I'm going to derail your transition. Brandon came back
I don't
to
think
our
he had a good
our little
transition
green room back there, where we were drinking beers and listening to Beastie Boys, and we
tell
said,
people
"Hey, Brandon, you want a beer, bro? Let's get ready for the show." He goes, "No. I've got like things to do later. Like I can't have a beer right now." And he walked out the door, and we all went. Like, I'm hoping that you're the worst on this prohibited word.
That's probably accurate.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
I said thankfully it's 15 minutes for him because most guests are up here for 45, and that would be
Maybe
rough.
that's what it is. That's what it is. We have
I have all
guests
the
for the
faith
whole
in the
show.
world in you, buddy.
They let it
I
down
don't
and
know
they
which
go.
one I sit down.
Right. That's
Brandon,
the
we're-
cleanest one.
That's the clean.
I also asked
That's
you
the
how tall you were. We were on the phone. And you said you were tall for some reason. I don't know if you're cocky about that. Or what
It's all I
you
got.
said
That's all
that,
I
and you added a half increment to your whatever. What did you say? Your 6.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think it was just 6'7". I don't know if it was anything
You
else.
said something and a half.
Okay.
And I'm like, wow, that's weird. He kind of is pretty proud of his height or whatever. Says the 5'8" and a half guy.
5'8".
I've been telling my kids for years that I was 5'9", like my driver's license says 5'9".
Be honest
And
with
then
me.
my kids are 21, 17, and 15. And as
Is that
they
right,
get,
Gabby?
Yeah.
Just make sure he's got his
As they
name
get older, they approach my height and they're measuring themselves to check, right, how tall they are. And they're like, Dad, you say you're 5'9"? What the hell? I'm like looking down on you. I'm 5'9". I don't understand.
I was going to say, be honest. How many of the 3 are taller than you?
All of them. Thanks, Chad.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's get to real stuff.
Yeah.
This is actually a real
Let
conference.
Brandon speak so Jesse can drink some more.
Okay, yes.
Some more.
So
You
you
took
do
his
know,
drink for it.
Skylar, you there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm over here. Yeah,
Your
we're good.
mustache
We're
is
good.
there. You ready? Tell Brandon what the...
Update on
Actually,
stats.
don't tell him. Skylar,
Let him
relax. Check your email. We're not telling you what the
He
words of
doesn't
the
get
episode
emails
are.
yet.
You've been paying attention. Your
It's
teammate
employee and
is
advisor.
Justin,
Gotcha.
right? You guys are drinking
I
buddies.
think I made that noticeable when I creepily held on to his
Let's
hand.
go quick. Let's see if we can get Brandon above
Let's
2,
allow
I think
the
is the
man
total.
to speak, please.
I think we got
Okay.
3.
Well, you want to hear
Financial
from him?
wellness,
Yeah,
dude.
I want to make fun of
Is it cool? Or should we be interested in it? What's the deal?
Absolutely. I think it's awesome to work with participants that
Oh, geez! That's a record!
Okay, that is a record. Half. He's got stuff to do later.
Hey, I'm just going to tell you, Brandon.
Oh,
yeah, that's my guy.
A champ like Jania.
If
Fill
it
him up
makes you
because-
feel any better, you're the tallest guy ever to say the prohibited word on our show.
hashtag.
Yeah.
By half an inch.
Hashtag.
Over JD, yeah.
Yes, sorry, go on. Wellness. It's important to these people.
It's a buzzword.
It's helpful to help.
I feel your pain.
It's awesome to have the opportunity to add value to hardworking people's lives, to put them in a better situation than what they were in before. But more importantly, not talk about just one topic, to talk about everything that they're currently working on, the biggest financial priority, and some of the things that you see as a red flag. It's awesome to have that opportunity to help out participants.
Oh, wow. You did that on purpose. You're going down.
I only gave him $100. This is impressive.
Bro, I see you in a whole new light now.
Poker face.
Yeah, that's sick, bro. You just went for that on purpose.
You hurt his hand, apparently.
Okay,
When he did it too.
we've talked about wellness a lot. Mark has
What?
even called it a buzzword over and over and over
Well,
again.
when you wrote and said wellness will be a topic, I immediately responded like, are you kidding me? Come on, how many
talking about
times
this
can we
again.
beat this?
It's hard to burp when there's a mic right
Yeah, you got to do quietly.
Here, I'll share with you guys.
To the side. Jeez.
No, seriously, we were like wellness. Okay, it's wellness again. I'm a wellness advocate. Like, I really do think that the 2.0 version of a plan advisor or the advisor 3 years, 5 years, 7 years from now, wellness will be a part of his or her
Absolutely.
practice. You
As
guys
it
are a
should
little
be.
more negative from times
No.
on the adoption of it all.
Yeah.
I'm negative on the success of it.
Super
I think that we've failed at this point creating technology that folks are not taking advantage of, which I think is a differentiator for elements. The mentor element of it to me is a big difference than what everybody else has created so far, which is technology that unfortunately is not adopted. People aren't taking advantage of it. They're not getting onto that website and utilizing those tools.
Do you agree?
What is any different right now? A person has to go on and fill out a questionnaire. Same thing.
Well, no, the
So-
difference
so
is going to be
they're
branding.
attacking
If
right
you
now.
do that,
It's pretty aggressive. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. They're saying like, is this really gonna work? this technology, these email notifications, these things to get these I'll take
You're good?
Sure.
participants to step up and actually take action. This is what Financial Elements is all about. Can it be done?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a different approach in introducing the human element once more.
Mentor.
He's making a lot of eye contact to make sure I'm not saying it.
That's creepy.
Because you're drinking, buddy. He's trying to coach you into not saying the words. Justin, leave him alone.
So there's really two components that we really focus on to help people out. One is the proactive approach to simply keep them engaged. The second is we simply keep them accountable. That's something that's not being introduced, and it's not something that's consistent with wellness programs. It's great to have the education side of it, the videos. They're all helpful, even online courses. But who's forcing them, or who's saying, hey, I'm going to get back in contact with you next week to check on things? Who's keeping people accountable at this point? And there's very few opportunities.
Is that what these mentors are doing? Well, they're following up and calling someone back?
Absolutely. So we don't limit how many times we work with the people that need it. If you have, expecting little one, then there's some planning that we need to take in consideration. If you have someone in your household that's getting ready to go to school, go to college, that's a pretty big expense. What does that mean in the sense of planning? So that's where, Financial Elements is different, because we have the technology side of it, and we're reintroducing the human element, the actual person that you can speak with to get assistance with whatever you're wanting to focus on.
Well, and I gave this analogy at 1:30 in the morning last night when we were prepping.
Asleep. What was I doing?
You were asleep and he was throwing lines at you.
Ever seen a human being sleep in a chair like this?
Well, the rest of us
As
are
we were talking
prepping.
wellness.
I'm pretty sure half the audience has done that at some point during
They're
the
doing it
show.
right now? Yeah.
Well, I know what half I'm in. not
So I
half.
mentioned this last night. Justin is fantastic at getting into the gym and working out and staying in shape. I am not, and he holds me accountable for that. He texts me when I'm not
You're a
hitting my numbers
workout,
on my
but
watch.
you get in
That
there.
accountability, that feeling guilty, like I didn't live up to what I told him I was going to do that day. He reaches out and I said, I'm going to go to the gym this afternoon. I don't do it. That's a differentiator for me. I feel guilty when I let him down. And I think that's a big difference for this mentorship
That's cute.
program that you guys have.
And that's
You
how
realize
guys do
they
it.
didn't
Go
include
ahead.
me
Yeah,
in any
absolutely.
of that.
So
When was the
I
last
would-
time you went to the gym, Mark?
Let our
Never.
guest speak.
I've never been to a gym.
Jeez.
I know a guy named Jim. He's an
It's exactly what we do. We simply want to, be positioned to where we don't. I'm really thinking really hard on what to say,
No,
but not
just
for us
speak
to
freely.
lose.
Speak
Yeah, we're
freely,
tired
Brandon.
right
You're trying to give value to all these
Skylar,
advisors.
count. Where we at?
All these advisors want value from you. They don't want you to hold back. Don't let the
Just say as
don't
many
let the
words as you'd
prohibited
like.
word of the episode stop you from delivering value to them. Let it go. Relax.
Yeah. So the employees that we're able to help out, we are like the gym membership. We're like the gym membership, but we're also
So you're
making sure
saying
you wear
nobody
your
uses it?
seatbelt on the way to the gym, or when you get there, we're actually providing a good quality meal for you, and then after we're gonna help you with recovery so we can see you the next day. A lot of times, and this was actually touched on a little earlier, whenever we work with people and we schedule that appointment for that very initial consultation, if you will, before we get off the phone, we schedule the next one. So whatever homework we wanted them to do, as far as whether it's adding the accounts or creating goals, we're able to do two things. First, lock in a time frame to where we're going to simply, give them a call back and say, hey, this is something that we wanted to check on. But second, a lot of times we find that, if they know they have that scheduled meeting, then they'll do it whatever we need, whether it's adding the accounts, like I said before, the day before. They'll do it in that time frame. So the accountability is just the most powerful tool to
changes
simply
things.
help. Yeah.
This is way
You
more
guys-
hands-on than I thought it would be. And I do want to talk to our audience, because this is why we're here, is all these people out here. If I'm an advisor shop and I want to add financial wellness to my practice, and I use this program, which I think most of the people here have that opportunity to do, I just basically get my clients to sign up for it, and then Financial Elements handles the rest of it. Like, I don't need staff or people or those things. right?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's all it takes, is once we have the information, we just simply take it from there, and that way we're kind of the boots on the ground for you, if that's something that you don't have the capacity to do.
You told me a story when we talked on the phone about how a participant,
Man, I wish you were in this game so bad.
you know when you're a veteran is when you just do it because you freaking want to, would call in and you'd actually talk to them about their credit cards and they'd have these 4 credit cards and you'd consolidate them and you said that you got your mentor would go to NerdWallet and help them find the best rate for like this is like real down in the weeds kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, it's a way for us to implement the solution rather than guide them towards a solution and then maybe not check in a little thereafter. When you have something before, you can compare it to your experience. So if you had a wellness program before, you can compare it to what you currently have, like financial elements. So in that sense, if you're in between, 2 different credit cards that are very similar in payments and, before you were taught to try to take action in a very specific way, with the innovative ideas that the mentors have, they're going to bring that up as an option, but they're also going to take everything else in consideration, like your credit score and, how we account for that interest-free period. But with the technology side of it, we can account for it and we can say, hey, it's going to simply take this long before you're debt-free. Congratulations. It's a powerful conversation to have with anybody.
Yeah, what incentive do the mentors have? I'm just curious. Are they advisors?
So if we're talking to the employees, we're not going to get compensated in any additional way.
Well, yeah, so by
Just
the way,
making sure he knows I
you're
opened a
avoiding
beer.
all the words great, that's fine. But part of this, you do have to have a friggin' beer in your hand and like.
It levels you out between the mic and the beer.
You're too
It's
sober,
good
bro.
balance.
Like, you're not going to say the word. Go on. Sorry. Did I derail you?
They're just trying to get you off base, dude. Keep it up.
Well,
you're
let's
doing
talk
great.
about how cool your website is, because the blue and the highlighted blue on the shoes.
black and white with the
hat,
highlighted
woo,
blue.
I love that stuff.
Marketing is
It
phenomenal.
was all my idea.
Was it really?
Absolutely not. No, I'm terrible at that.
Good for
That
you.
is the
Now, you
worst.
guys should, you got to be tracking stuff to shut up the naysayers like this guy right here and prove like, hey, when you have human engagement, we are able to prove that we have this much more interaction and these people are actually participating and really
Add that one to the game.
Yeah. Finally
So
talks.
I'm gonna back you up, and I'm gonna go.
This yours?
I'm gonna share personally with this audience here. So I'm an employer. I got 25 employees, and I never really thought about financial wellness of my staff. But from time to time, and we've been in business since 1975. My wife does HR. Hey, baby.
She left. Oh, they bounced. For sure they bounced.
Oh God! My wife left in the
What
middle.
and I saw her do this as she was walking out, like wrap it up,
She was one of the ones
my
that
wife
was asleep.
does HR for us, and once in a while,
Don't blame her.
it has happened where one of my employees gets a garnishment from their.
Can you not tell my personal business, dude?
We all knew it was you, Mark. And it worries me as an employer. I go, oh my gosh, here's this person who I'm entrusting to do a job, maybe even service my clients, and they've got this financial black cloud looming over them. I call them. I really want to find out what's happening. And so, would you all know this? I just want to reiterate it from a really kind of from me is like, that scares me as an employer. And so if I'm in a 1,000 employee company, you damn right I'm worried about the productivity and the mental state and the headspace of my employees. And if their finances is stressing them out, sucking time from them, that's a real big productivity thing. And clearly you agree with that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that you have to be on top of. You have to take in consideration. And the way that we account for that is we report, based on what we're finding. A lot of times, employers have a good idea on what they're doing and heading in the right direction. But, I found out we can speak with their employees in a real capacity to talk to every single person. You're going to gather some information along the way, right? So once we gather the information, we're able to report it back to the plan and say, hey, these are the things that we found people have the most issues with. So let's follow up with some type of education with the actual person. And let's not, simply look it over. Let's attack it head on.
And we may not think about it often, and I think, Jania, you said this on your podcast, which is relieving stress from working America. The truth is, we may not think about our finances as often as we should, but many of our employees and the true working folks of America are. And that creates a great deal of stress for them. I was impressed, and I didn't know this as you said it earlier, that you guys are really getting into the weeds, even to the tune of credit card percentages that they're paying. You're really getting into the weeds to help them find the next step on their pathway to hopefully creating a retirement success. So kudos to what you all are doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, and for this audience, as what I see as plan advisors, and I know you guys and girls do a lot of different things, but I do believe, as much as Mark argues me late in the night, that wellness will be a huge part of the successful 401k plan advisor 3 years from now, 5 years from now.
When have I ever argued that point?
Last night.
When I was asleep.
And I think that sometimes we're too critical of where we're at right now. The adoption rates, who's using it. Like, let's not be so critical. And if you're not using it, you should. You should start that, because it's going to be part of the process. And don't be critical about what it is right now, and think more about what it might be in a little bit, and how that might help your business and help you make more money, but help people better.
You help 3 or 5 people that otherwise would have been in a tough situation. Like, that's a difference. Let's not overlook that.
I'm going to leave with this. Just because the retirement plan advisor, when I do this, Brandon, I don't think about what the prohibitive word is. I just speak.
Yeah.
I don't. When the retirement plan advisor of 5 years ago, 10 years ago, did fund reviews and fee benchmarking and record keeper RFPs and fiduciary reviews, like that was, boom!
Take that, drink.
Like I said, I don't think about it. That was great.
We'll be asleep by 6 tonight.
But we have to evolve,
in our private
right?
podcast.
We have to evolve, and it's normal business practice
Jesus.
to offer more services that are of value to your clients.
Well, that's Jania's approach as well, right? Step in and say, look, there are other things we can do.
Financial wellness is an obvious choice, and clearly the industry and people much smarter than me have decided that this is a big deal. Like, we have attached ourselves to this. And so it's coming. It's here, it's coming, and it's coming in a bigger way. I'm not going to get too emotional because we're about to wrap this. I learned from you guys that you guys are into collaboration, this whole group. I thought that was kind of BS. Like, oh yeah, I thought you're here for tools and resources. That's the name of the company. But you are here to collaborate, and you're here to actually help create what that next version of a retirement plan advisor is, or just an advisor is, if that's how you see yourself. And so let's keep doing that. And I think financial wellness is a huge part of that. So screw you, Mark. It's not a buzzword.
Time out. If it's used appropriately in different audience here, and other facets we've had, people check it off. It's a box they check. Like, oh yeah, I got this wellness tool I use. Great. Like, I'll just toss it out there. They vet them out if they integrate it, if they utilize it, if it makes sense, if it's actually something that's a part of a process for the bigger picture. I'm all for it. It's going to be a big thing. Not if you just go, that one.
That's what kind of what I'm saying is don't judge what we have right now. Even though right now we've got some really cool shit. There's good stuff. Think about what we could have and what's the next version and all that, okay? We're going to wrap the show. We're going to keep you up here with us. We don't do this often.
Sounds good.
Okay? First of all, Skylar, are you there? Skylar?
Yeah, I haven't left you guys. I'm over here.
Oh, I thought you fell
Give us a
asleep
traffic
or
report.
Stay in the corner.
something. What's the count?
Jenny had 1, Phil had 4, Brandon had 3.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Phil.
Yes.
We're about to
You're
wrap
my boy,
the show,
Phil.
people. We're gonna wrap this show.
I really thought you lost.
I did too, actually.
Stop delaying the inevitable.
Hey,
That's you right there.
Do I have to put the olives in it?
Yep.
I'll eat the olives.
I'll do it for you.
I'll eat the damn.
I don't like the olives. That's
No,
the best part.
I don't like anything in that cup. Well, I mean, I
Okay,
like
first
the
of all,
booze.
hey, that's like 9 ounces.
We made the bartender take a straw full, and she literally went to the ground after.
On her knees.
Because
Who here's on Instagram?
No, don't make this about
Raise your
you.
hand if
Let
you're on
him do it.
Instagram.
I'm gonna say we're both going.
That was a reluctant hand.
Are you
raise, by the way.
serious?
Put it up there.
Raise your hand
You can be
if
on
you're on
Instagram.
Instagram.
It's all right.
Don't be afraid. And you have your secret account.
That is
Retireaholics at
lost,
Retireaholics. We filmed the bartender who made this drink, and she fell to her knees. So you're gonna try it? Because you made it, you try it. Give us an honest opinion. Okay. Okay. Perfect.
Oh, that's gonna be fantastic.
Look at our
Spit it
stories. It's there. For your old people, stories is a thing on Instagram.
Okay, I feel okay about this. I think you're
All
lying.
right, so Chad is a
Poker
loser.
face.
He's going to do that,
No.
and then hang on, Chad. And then we're going to finish the show for the audience.
You don't want that.
And we have a saying at the end of the show. We say,
The first when it goes down,
The
actually, you
jalapenos
don't-
are sitting in the top.
we say,
It's
they
fine.
distract me
Just-
a lot.
That's actually helping.
We say, hey, we're the Retireaholics, and we're changing the retirement plan industry one beer at a time.
Dude,
Can you
don't
do
drink
that
the
with
whole
us?
thing. Don't.
Can we split it up half and half?
Wait,
You
we say,
can't remember the whole thing?
we say, we are the Retireaholics, and we changed the retirement plan industry, one participant and one fiduciary. Oh, shit.
Those still count.
I was trying to be funny and set them up.
Yeah, we should Rochambeau for
I know
this,
it's
JD.
twice. I love when the
want a
audience is the
Rochambeau for
judge
this?
all of a sudden.
You want a Rochambeau?
Twice is twice. I know it's twice.
Let's
least they're
Rochambeau
paying
for this,
attention.
JD.
No one made you the judge.
Oh, I gotta loosen this.
It ain't gonna happen.
Okay. So, Chad, you lost.
That pee's so bad.
You're going to drink that. All right,
Go.
do it, Chad.
Go.
This
Go.
is our out, by the way. This is our out. So I expect
Don't
big
drink
applause.
the whole thing. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. No, you can't.
No, it's like Portland all over again.
Put it down. Put it down. Oh, no.
You know how bad that hurts.
Brandon, you want something? Finish it, boys.
Fine.
Finish it. Justin? Brandon, you ready? We are the Retireaholics. We're changing the retirement plan industry
One beer at a time.
Thank you.